Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Yes, I may look like I have a black eye. Like something's wrong with my face. What it is I'm having allergies right now. So I look a little bit like a raccoon right now, only because I'm getting over an allergic reaction in my eyes. So that's what's going on. No, my husband hasn't been beating me or somebody come over and punched me in the eye because I'm a heathen or something. I mean, it's not that, it's just allergies. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's just, I'm just taking some antihistamine and just trying to get it to go down. So I'm working on it. That aside, I want to do an update on my last video because I said some things that I feel like I need to, clarify since then and give a little update on. Well, if you remember, in the last video, I was talking about how my neighbors were being bad. Okay, and like they blocked the street to where I couldn't get out, and I ended up having to call the cops because the kid slammed the door in my face. Well, what winds up happening is, okay, yeah, I called the cops and what have you. Well, my thought is this, and I wanted to say this in this video. I knew I was going to end up having to call the cops either way. It was either A, I call the cops and have them help me get these kids to move it on along and clear out the street so I can back out without hitting the truck. Because I'm sure I mentioned in the last video, and you'll remember that, I got out there and I knew I was going to either hit the truck or get them to move it. I'm like, because, that's the other reason why I would have had to call the cops is I would have ended up hitting this dude's truck because he was parked pretty much like right in the middle. He was pretty much taking over the whole street to where I could get out. And I mean, I'm not trying to be, an asshole neighbor or anything. It's just, there's just times when people need to know what the rules are and know that, hey, you can't do this because of whatever reason. And I understand the reason why we're not allowed to park on this street, especially down at this end, because there's a lot of, a lot of larger vehicles at this end to where, it's kind of hard to back out without having to take up the whole, street just to back it on out. I mean, I drive an SUV, so it's like, I can't back out because, you've taken up the street to where I can't safely get out without hitting your car. I mean, it's just, I was more concerned about me being safely getting it out, getting my car out and going where I need to go without hitting this vehicle. And that's how I feel about it. I mean, it's just, this is something I want to mention. This is only the second time in the 14 years that we've lived here. I mean, we've lived here about 14, 15 years now. And this is this is only the second time I've ever had to call the cops on a vehicle like that. The first time was, I'd say maybe not long after we moved here. I mean, it was, 14 years ago. I mean, that's how long it's been. I mean, that's how often I call the cops. I mean, it's, been well over almost 15 years since I've had to call the cops on a car to have them move it. And I have to say, I mean, with the other time, and I'll give a little aside about that other story before I go on. What it is, and I may have mentioned this in an earlier video, but what happened is our neighbor 14 years ago that lived next door in 6, they had a lady living with them that, I mean, I had no problem with them. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they were totally cool people, super nice, but they let somebody that was living with them there's like a spot like between my driveway and their driveway on this side of the street, that they let their person park, like, kind of like in that spot. Well, I'm not a bad driver. Don't get that idea. It's just, what happened is I had to get up and go to a meeting because I worked overnights at a hotel at the time. And I had to get up and go to a staff meeting at said hotel. Well, they had left the car parked like right here between our driveways. It was to where like I wouldn't have actually plowed into it, but I had to back into 3's driveway just to be able to get out to pull around and miss hitting that car. Well, that was like in the morning at, like 9:30 in the morning. I come back and I'd say it was probably like about 11:30, 12 noon. The car was still there in the same spot. It hadn't moved or anything. And I almost hit it trying to get into my driveway because of where it was parked. When I got back in here, I ran in the house and I called the police because I happened to know the phone number off the top of my head. Excuse me. And this is the other thing. I'm still coughing up the infection. But anyway, I called the police and I said, hey, I'm going to need you guys to come put a ticket on this car or something. Because, A, this person is parked in such a spot that, the car's going to end up getting hit. And I almost hit it twice. Excuse me, I almost hit the thing twice. Just trying to get in and out of my own driveway. And secondly, I'm concerned that when the crazy lady that was living in 3 at the time gets home, she's going to come over here and she's going to start acting all psycho on us on me because, this car's parked here illegally, and she's going to, be like, you need to move the car right now, just acting the fool. Excuse me. Excuse me on that. Like I said, I'm still coughing up. Excuse me. I'm still coughing up a little bit of infection out. But anyway, excuse me on that. But like I was saying, I told the police officer, I said, I'm afraid that when the crazy lady in 3 gets home, she's going to come running over here, be beating on the door. Excuse me, and be like, you have to move the car right now. Excuse me. But anyway, that aside, what it is I told the officer, I said, I'm scared to death that she's going to come over here and start a fight with us because the lady, excuse me, the lady has this big diesel pusher truck. It's really loud. It's loud enough to where a deaf person could have heard it. As I've mentioned in the video I shot when she moved out a few years ago. Well, anyway, I told the officer, I said, look, I don't want her coming over here and be beating on the door, acting all psycho, and be blaming me for something the neighbor in 6 is doing that I have no control over. I'm like, I don't, know what else to do other than to let the police know, hey, here's a problem, can you please fix it? This was before, that I actually had access to the HOA people. Or I would have emailed them and said, just so you know they did this, could you kind of sort of please talk to them? Anyway, fast forward to last week. Well, like I said, I emailed the HOA lady. What I did, and this was, excuse me, I'm doing that again. what I ended up doing was I included the picture that I had taken on my phone to the email. So that's why she could see it herself and be like, yeah, that's an issue. Excuse me. But what happened is, okay, she did not send me a snarky email, which was a great thing. She was like, and like I explained it to her in full detail. I was like, push this on Facebook, I just, wanted to let people know, in case they see this, they might want to stop the guy and tell him, hey, just so you know, you're not supposed to park over there, or park like that, I was hoping maybe they'd catch him, like if I didn't catch him, I was thinking, well, maybe one of the neighbors might catch him and be like, hey, sir, you need to move your truck down the street. And that's part of the reason why I did it, was, just so they would, at least somebody would help me out, just in case. That was my thought. But she sending him a book and, saying something to him about following the rules. Well, here's the best part of it. Yesterday, it's snowing outside right now, really bad. But yesterday, it wasn't snowing or anything. I get out to the car, ironically, to go meet my mom again at the same restaurant for dinner. I get outside, and there's a for sale sign in their yard across the street over there in one. I'm like, I did a happy dance, practically did a cartwheel, and got in the car and was just like, oh my God. I'm like, there's that problem solved. Excuse me. I'm going to try not to cough through this video, so, forgive me for choking up on y'all. But anyway, I just, the HOA lady is going to kind of let them know, yo, dudes, seriously. My big thing is, that's fine and great. They did whatever they were doing and whatever. But, it's like I said in the other video. Why are you so rude? It's like, rude much? Seriously. I'm like, it would not kill you to be nice and say, oh, hey, I didn't know, or, sorry, it's like, I was in, I think it was either like a Mediterranean restaurant or a Mexican restaurant, or something like a foreign, like a non-American food restaurant. And I was really enjoying my meal. Well, as we're getting ready to leave, one of the guys walked past, one of the workers, and I said, oh, I want to tell you this food is really good. And he looked at me and says, I can't speak English real well, sorry. And I'm like, thinking, sweetie, you spoke it just fine. You may not have understood me, but, I just wanted to, tell you, your food's good. It's like, that's one thing. Like, if you can't really understand English that well, at least have the stones to say so. And, this guy, like I said, the guy looked at me like I had two heads, or he couldn't speak English, or I don't know what. But it was like, dude, really? At least have some home raising and say, what? I don't understand you, or something. At least have the stones to be honest and say something. Fuck you wouldn't have replied, excuse my language, but, I would have really appreciated him not being so rude to me, and that's what I was getting at. But anyway, I'm going to pause here because I want to shoot another video talking about something else. And I do want to close this video first, though, by saying, well, there's that rectified. And believe me, I'm glad. Well, anyway, I hope y'all stay safe if you're out in the next 2 to 4 hours or so. And y'all have a good evening. Bye.